Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our How to Make an Avatar series. But not only welcome back, welcome to the final episode of our How to Make an Avatar series. I am so excited to finally be at this point. I'm excited for you guys to be at this point, that we are wrapping up your avatars that you've been working on. It's been a very long journey, and I'm so grateful for all of you that have watched this series up to this point, or even if you've just gone through and watched a few videos here and there. It really means the world to me that you are here. I'm very excited to, see a potential new growth of creators come from this, and I hope that this tutorial series has found you guys helpful. And I'm really excited to see everything that people might be making from these. So I just wanted to start off with a little bit of a thank you. So last episode we kind of finished off our avatar with everything that I typically put on my avatars in terms of like contacts. We have Go Loco, we added our custom icons, all of our toggles are done, everything is done. So this video is kind of more of a wrap up of the series, as well as just wrapping up the avatar itself. So we're going to upload her to vrchat. I'll show you guys how to do that, as well as talk about a few different things for if you're wanting to make your avatars commercial, how to export it out of Unity to do that, as well as just kind of cover a few things that I think are helpful from a creator's standpoint that's already been creating and selling on the market for a few years, to just a few kind of like tips and things to keep in mind if you're wanting to get into actually selling your avatars commercially. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in to our last episode. All right, so we have our wonderful girl here. She is all done and ready to go. Now, I do want to put out a little disclaimer because I've said it before that this avatar is going to be public up in my avatar world once this series is finished. I have, of course, done things on this avatar that aren't going to be included in the public world, and I just kind of want to put that out there. So I'm using her as kind of my go-to avatar for any like tutorials that I'm going to be doing moving forward, because she is a revamp of the very first avatar that I ever put out for sale and made a sale on. So this is Mila 2.0. But that being said, that doesn't always mean that the things that I do to her are going to be available on the public version, simply just to kind of keep in line with vrchat's terms of service. So I know we added SPS and a toggle for the pants, and added like a butt slap contact and all that kind of stuff. That will not be included on the public version. I just want to just toss it out there kind of before I forget. And for anyone that might be wanting to go check out the public avatar to see it in game, just know that some of the stuff like the butt slap and the pants toggle won't be included, because I do need to keep her safe for work. So I need those pants to stay on so that she complies with the terms of service for being a public avatar. So just wanted to toss that out there. So I have already removed SPS from her because I don't, of course, can't include that. So I just kind of wanted to let you guys know of the changes that are going to happen on her in game if you guys ever end up touching her. So to upload your avatar in game, I think is the first thing we're going to do, and then we will jump to exporting and talking about selling your avatars commercially. First things first, I would definitely recommend that you take your avatar and drag it down into this asset section so that it turns blue. It's making a prefab. The best way I can think to put that is it's kind of like locking in your avatar. So now we have all of our game objects where we want, all of our toggles are how they want, our materials. So this is just telling Unity that this is what the avatar is supposed to look like. Having a prefab is so important, especially if you're wanting to sell it commercially, but just as also kind of like a safety precaution for yourself, so that if you ever come back in here and for some reason, it's not showing up properly and you see this like grayed out version, then all you need to do is just drag in your prefab, and as you can see, it pulls it in with all your materials, your toggles, all your setup already done. So it's very important that you have a prefab. And that's all it takes, is just dragging it down into your assets, and it makes a little prefab like this. So you want to see two. You want to see your grayed out version, which is your FBX, and then your colored in pretty version, which is your prefab. So I definitely recommend doing that before you know, uploading or anything, I'm just going to delete out my extra game object from when we were testing our contacts, and I'm going to save real quick just to be sure because Unity likes to crash. So to upload your avatar, you're going to head over here to this vrchat SDK spot, and you're going to go to show control panel, and it's going to pop up. You're going to want to sign in with your username and email, so I'm going to do that real quick. Alrighty, so now that we are finally logged in, we're going to head over to our builder. Maybe. Okay. All right, there we go. And you're going to want to give your avatar a name. So my name is Mila. Bueno. And I always add in the description that it's by me. And a few things. So this is going to be a public avatar, so I'm uploading it private. If you're uploading a public avatar, or I'm sorry, this is going to be a public avatar, so I'm uploading it publicly. If you're uploading an avatar that you've purchased, of course you want to set it as private. Most creators' TOS is that the avatars are only allowed to be uploaded as private because that's one license key that has been purchased for that one person, right? But since I'm uploading it as a public avatar for my avatar world, I need it to stay public so that people can grab it from the avatar pedestal and take her around, show her off. So I'm going to be changing the visibility. Just be aware that, you know, keep in mind that if you're uploading a different avatar for some reason, then you'll want it to be private. And if you're uploading it for yourself, like if you're testing an avatar that you're making, I would definitely still recommend uploading it as private unless you're wanting it to be like cloned by your friends for testing or something to be public. But I recommend uploading it as private, just that way you don't have to worry about people potentially ripping if you end up going into like a public world. And then for the thumbnail, you can capture from scene, which is just going to do this. You know, it's just going to take a screenshot. You can also do select a new thumbnail. What I like to do is I'll go in game and like take a picture in game of my avatar, and then I'll go back onto like Canva or Photoshop and I'll make a pretty little thumbnail, and then you can do select new thumbnail. And just for kicks, let me kind of just grab something, I don't know. So like this is a picture that I had taken of one of my partner's avatars that I have gotten. So, you know, you can do select a new thumbnail and go through your files and find it. And that way you have like a fancy thumbnail if you want. Something that I do for commercial avatars is once I get an in-game picture, I normally like decorate the thumbnail that I want for my store page with like the avatar's name. And then I'll import that PNG down here into the package so that people can have that whenever they first upload it. They can have a special thumbnail if they want. So that's something that you can do. For now, of course, I'm just going to capture from scene because I need to go in game and get pictures of her. And then you're going to scroll down here and you're going to see these, these magical, wonderful, beautiful errors. If it is a yellow triangle, you don't have to worry about it. If it is a red circle, you don't have to worry about it. This is just performance saying that the avatar is not optimized, of which most avatars aren't. So I'm not too worried about that. And then that tris will go down, I promise. But these ones won't allow you to upload. So even if you say like, yes, you can't upload it until these errors go away. The ones I do want to focus on is it says these expression mirrors are go crouch. These are all for Go Loco. So this is standing or saying that the parameters for Go Loco aren't correct, which this one is referring to stand type. I think these are the ones. Yeah, that's mirror, 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 and stand type. So these are all ones that I don't have because on Go Loco's documentation, if you were here for that tutorial, they don't have it included. So they don't have it listed as what we're supposed to do. Like they say that it's supposed to be added, but they didn't say how, like what we're supposed to be adding it as. They don't even have stand type included. So what happens if I just we're just going to delete the ones that it's saying need those. Not really too sure what's going on. So, okay, I don't want to mess everything up, so hold on. I guess I'm just going to add in I'm assuming it would be a bool. Go stand type. Idle mirror and, oh, because I didn't, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna delete the ones that mirror, and I added in stand type. So just so you guys know what's going on their documentation that tells you how to set things up, it doesn't have, so there's idles, but it says to add these idle mirrors. There is no stand type. It doesn't say to add those. And then in the screenshot, they're not included. So I don't know like what type, default, saved, or synced. I don't know how to set any of that up. As you can see, they've been notified, but they just haven't, I don't think, been very active. So they haven't come through their documentation and updated it. So that's why I was saying that I'm not like too sure what those are. So I just deleted them out of the menu so that those errors can go away until that gets updated. For these ones, if you ever see the autofix button, you can just go ahead and click it. So this is saying that the images used are too large. That's for our icons. So since I imported ones that weren't from the icon generator, it was just saying the file's too large. So it's going to go through and squish those down for me. And then the same thing with the read write disable, it's going to fix that. And the bitmap textures, it's going to fix that. So just go through. If you ever see autofix, go ahead and hit those buttons, and then you should be good to go. It is giving me that yellow triangle warning saying that I have a mixture of write defaults. I have VRC Fury on my avatar that's going to also autofix that for me during upload. So that I can skip past. So I'm going to fast forward, because this is going to take a little bit for it to autofix everything, and I'll be back with you guys once everything has been autofixed. So now everything has finished auto-fixing, and as you can see, that triangle count went down by quite a lot. 258,000 is not very much for an avatar. She is a little bit high for as simple as she is, but some of the assets that she used, like the chains, and I think the text set might be a little bit higher poly, but I'm not too worried about it. 258 is not much at all. So she's doing fine. She's just not on their like vrchat super duper optimized rating. So I can skip past all of that, and I'm uploading for the PC. So we want our selected platform to be Windows. Something that I do recommend is you can do this offline testing called build and test. That basically makes it to where the avatar only shows up on your account and for you. So if you were to wear the avatar around friends, they won't be able to see it, but it uploads a lot quicker. It doesn't go through the full uploading process. That way you could literally upload it, test for any clipping, weight painting, grab some pictures, whatever you want to do. And then whenever you're ready to fully upload it, you can do this online publishing, and then you can hit build and publish, which is what we are going to do. And this is going to send it through, as you can see, it's going to go through VRC Fury. It's going to import all of the assets. It's going to do everything to where it's fully uploaded to the vrchat servers. So now anybody else will be able to see that I'm wearing this avatar. It'll show up publicly on my profile, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm going to do that. That way I can get ready once I finish recording this tutorial to open up my avatar world and throw her in there. So yeah, that's the difference. Now, if you're wanting to upload for Quest where it says selected platform, you would want to change that for Android. I will link some videos down below of some tutorials that cover Quest. I am not very familiar at all with doing Quest conversions. I've tried, and it's like impossible for me to figure out how to be able to keep really anything on the avatar when it comes to the Quest limitations. vrchat, I will say at the time of recording this tutorial, just actually not too long ago went through and changed their Quest limitations again. So it might not be relevant in the future, But Quest limitations right now are pretty strict and are getting stricter. So it has been more difficult to be able to make Quest avatars with a ton of toggles. So again, I don't think I'm going to ever be able to make a tutorial on Quest conversions simply because they are constantly changing the requirements, and it's already something that I struggle with, much less whenever they keep changing the requirements to be even stricter. So I do apologize for that, but I'll make sure to link some channels and videos down below of some channels that do cover Quest conversions so that you guys can take a look at that whenever you are ready. So I am just going to, I think I'm going to switch over to our kind of like chatting scene so that we can talk about some extra stuff for commercial avatars while I wait for this to upload, and then I can show you guys how to export. Alright, so while we're waiting for that to finish uploading to vrchat servers, once that gets done, I'll show you guys how to export it out of Unity for if you're ever wanting to sell it commercially. I do want to just kind of like talk about a few things whenever it comes to exporting and commercial avatars and doing updates, things like that. So first things first, I just kind of want to remind you guys of is don't forget, as you go into whether you're doing build and test or build and publish, whenever you go onto vrchat to test your avatar, if you ever end up finding any last bit of clipping or you find a new asset you want to add or something like that, don't forget it's super duper easy to just pop open Pumpkins, go fix your avatar in Blender, and then pop it into Pumpkins in Unity and transfer everything over. So don't get too stressed out if you ever find any issues. It's pretty uncommon, at least for me, to be able to upload an avatar first go and everything be perfect. So if you ever end up like getting in and you find any issues, don't let it discourage you, and just remember that it is not hard at all to be able to update your avatar in Blender and back into Unity. Now if you add a new asset in Blender and you use Pumpkins to transfer it over, just know that like obviously it's not going to have toggles created, it's not going to have materials, so you'll need to do everything for that new asset that you created, but you'll at least be able to keep all the progress that you had made up to that point. Another little like, I guess like disclaimer I personally would like to talk about whenever it comes to exporting, please be very cautious when it comes to exporting out of Unity and sending that package anywhere. There are like so many scammers and leakers and just bad guys in the community that will say, oh, I can quest convert for you, or oh, I can do this for your avatar, whatever, and they're just trying to get the avatar from you, and then they're not going to complete their work. However, there are tons of trusted, well-known creators and trusted, well-known people that have commissions for like quest converting and maybe setting up stuff for you in Unity, things like that. One of my best friends, his name is Dan, has done Unity work for me. He's done them for Ares from Olympus. He's done them for quite a few creators actually. So like most people will have like a commission sheet, and then if you're not too familiar with them, maybe check their mutual servers, reach out to creators that they say that they've worked with to kind of confirm their story. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that there are people that you can absolutely commission to do quest conversions. I commission another creator to do my quest conversions for my avatars. Sometimes I'll commission my friend Dan to do Unity work for me to set up fancier things that I'm not very familiar with. So it's, totally fine to be able to commission people to help you out with your avatar work. Just be aware and please just make sure that they are legit and who they are and do your research. That being said, also please keep in mind of TOS. So if you have bought, an asset or something for your avatar, and you're buying it for commercial use, perfect. If you've bought it for personal use, or if the TOS for that asset doesn't even have like a commercial license and it says personal use only, it does not need to be used on your commercial avatar. So if you have it on your avatar and you're wanting to sell commercially, then you would need to remove that asset. So just please be very cautious whenever you go to put out your avatar for sale up on a store. If you're wanting to get into selling your avatars, please just triple check your assets TOS and make sure that you're following all the creators. In terms of service, I know when I first became a creator, and especially from my last series, that I unfortunately had ran into quite a few people that were trying to become creators, that were new to creating and new to selling commercially, that had made that mistake and put out an avatar without, commercial license allowed. And most creators are pretty understanding if it's an honest mistake. It's just something that you don't want to happen all the time, because there is a lot of people that will purposefully trade around avatars and assets when that is illegal and can actually get you sued. So please just keep that in mind. I'm sorry for the serious talk, sorry for the real talk. I don't like having these kinds of conversations on my tutorial series, but as a creator, and especially as somebody that is making a series to give all the details that I can to help people become creators themselves, and especially commercial creators, I just felt like it's my duty to kind of just remind you guys to please be cautious of assets, TOS, and if things are allowed commercially, and to be careful of sharing stuff. You're not supposed to ever send packages to people. It's the same concept as buying an avatar and then sending it to somebody that didn't buy it, So just be cautious of that. Of course, commissions are different. Most creators and their assets TOS are okay if you need to commission somebody like for a quest conversion. If you're ever unsure, just triple check with that creator and make sure that that's okay. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about whenever it comes to exporting for commercial use, to just kind of keep in mind the safety of who you're commissioning and be cautious of terms of service. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to, I guess, kind of like fast forward to whenever the avatar is finished uploading. I'll show you guys how to export out of Unity to get a full avatar package for for conversions or for commercial use, as well as what you need to uncheck mark for wholesome to stay within their terms of service, and then we'll be able to wrap up the series. So I will be right back with you guys in just a few. Okay, so our avatar has finished uploading to vrchat, so we are all good to work on exporting. The very first thing that I would check whenever you get ready to export your avatar is make sure that you have your scene saved. So as you can see, I have my Unity scene right here. It's titled Open Me. This is something that we set up whenever we first came in to set up our Unity project, so it should be something that you already have. But if not, or if you just want to double check, come up here to File and go to Save As or Save Project, and it should pop up down here. So once you make sure that you are all saved and you have your prefab saved, you're good to go. Then you're going to right click on Assets and you're going to go to Export Package. And it's going to take it a minute, but once it pulls up, then you're going to see everything in your project. So since we've been going through and doing our organization, I know that everything that I need is under my Mila folder. So there is my 3.0 stuff, my materials, my FBX, and my prefab, which those are the most important things, I would say. And then my Open Me is down here. You definitely need to make sure that your scene is check marked, because basically whenever somebody, so like if you're going to sell this commercially, whenever somebody goes to import your project, they'll come over to this Unity scene, they'll click it and they'll click open and it's going to pop up. And if it's not included, then they might be left with just the FBX or just the prefab, and they might not, if they don't know how to include the prefab, then that's going to mess them up. And if it's just the FBX, then the avatar is not set up at all. So definitely make sure that those are all included and that you have all of your toggles and your materials, everything you need is included. I'm going to uncheck mark high because that is not needed for anything commercially. Go Loco, she's not a commercial avatar, but this is just like as if she was. So high was just for my lightbox viewer and my icon generator, since it saved the icons as PNGs. I don't need any of their systems. Go Loco is confirmed allowed for commercial use, so that can stay, so that they have all of the animations for Go Loco. AV3 Creator does not need to be included. Poyomi Shaders does not need to be included. It is against Poyomi's TOS and AV3 Creator's TOS to be included in commercial projects, so make sure that you uncheck mark those. And then for wholesome, you'll want to uncheck mark I think all of it. Yeah, you'll just uncheck mark wholesome, And what they'll do whenever somebody, like if you're selling an avatar with SPS, since you have it set up on your model, then they'll just need to import on their project. They'll import the dependencies, and then they'll be good to go. So as long as that's unchecked marked, because it is also against Wholesome's TOS to include this configurator in your avatar, because that's basically like giving out the script to make it. So you'll want to make sure that that's unchecked marked. The index gestures are allowed for commercial use, so that's good to stay. I'm going to remove the check move system because that's not, or the animation, that's not needed. And then we're good to go. So that's everything for this project. If you're ever like exporting like with, like Unity systems like Flow Toys or Follower or something, like I was kind of saying in the little like ramble before, just triple check any systems that you're using or any additional assets that you're using, their TOS, to see what does and does not need to be included. So kind of like for like AV3 creators, so that's a tool that I use, but I know that their TOS says no commercial use, so no commercial products. So I know to uncheck mark that, versus GoGoLoco says like, hey, you can include this in your commercial projects. So then I know I can leave that check marked for anybody that would potentially be purchasing this avatar. So just kind of like keep that in mind whenever you're going to export. And then you would just click export and you'll go to wherever you need it to be saved. So I'm just going to save it here, Mila 2.0. Unity package. And then I'll click save. And it's going to take it a little bit, but it's going to work on exporting that into a Unity package so that if I ever need it, if I ever end up losing this project or something, then I have the Unity package so I could just make a new project and move on. But if you were selling like a commercial avatar, then you would upload that Unity package to your store and then be good to go. And if you're ever uploading it to your store and you're selling commercially, make sure to go through and add on your store page somewhere what your avatar needs. So like she uses SPS, so you would need VRC Fury. So you would want to make sure to include like, hey, she uses this version of Ployomi, VRC Fury, SPS, like whatever they would need to include. And something else that I would recommend if you're ever looking at selling commercial avatars is include the SDK versions and like the VRC Fury version that you use, since they constantly, as you can see, constantly update. Because it is very, very important for an avatar to be uploaded on the same version that it was created with. Because if somebody uses like a super old version, like instead of the 3.75, if they were uploading on 3.6 or even 3.8, like if it was too old or too new, then it can cause issues and it can cause a lot of things to break. So if you do end up selling commercially, just keep that in mind, that it would be very helpful to your customers to include that, and that'll save them a lot of headache of trying to figure out what versions and wondering why things are potentially breaking, and save you a lot of headache as well of, well, it works on my end, why isn't it working on their end? It's most likely different versions. So a lot of times whenever something breaks on a commercial avatar and it's working on the creator's end, it's normally either a different SDK version or a different like asset version, like the VRC Fury version. Being different could cause a lot of issues, but also things like the Ployomi version. Since I use dissolve toggles and like the butt slap runs off of a mat cap, then if somebody's using a too old version of Ployomi Tune or too new of a version, since they have different features that are changing with each version, then it can actually break, like my contacts or my, the butt slap contact or the dissolves, and since the toggles function off of dissolves, then it could therefore break the toggle. So that's just another little like tip that I would highly recommend if you ever look into putting out your avatars for sale. Include all the specific versions of the stuff that you're using. It'll just save you and your customers a lot of headache and time in case something does go wrong. So that being said, I think we can go ahead and move on to the wrap up. I'm just going to wait for this to export. But now we know how to export. Now we know how to upload. So I think we are set to start wrapping up. Alrighty, I cannot believe the time is here, but here we are. It is time for us to wrap up our How to Make an Avatar series. I can't believe that we are finally here. it's a mix of we're finally here and like I can't believe that we're already here. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this series. If you've made it this far, or even if you're just popping in for the last episode just to see how to export something, it just means the world that you're here. I can't thank you guys enough for the support on the tutorials and on the channels. During the time of me making this tutorial series, it's taken me multiple months to make this. I was hoping to release this in 2024, but we had a lot of health complications with different family members come up, as well as moving. So it was just a really crazy, hectic year. I wasn't able to get it out last year. I'm so sorry it's taken so long, but it has been a lot of work put into this series, a lot of love put into this series, and I hope that it has helped you guys. I hope that this was better than the old series. I tried to put in as much information that I know of. I wanted this to be an all-encompassing how to make an avatar series. Every tip, every trick that I could think of for how I set up my avatars was put into this series. When it comes to making super duper complex avatars or stuff with like super crazy Unity systems, most of the time I get help from other creators and friends with that kind of stuff. Or it's just, like quality of life stuff, that I might be adding. So there's nothing really outside of this series, anything that I do whenever I personally make my avatars. I know I'm not as crazy of a creator as some of the other creators out there with all the insanely cool things that they do. I hope one of these days maybe I can give you guys some tutorials on some of the super crazy cool things that other creators do once I learn that myself. But I wanted this series to be kind of a good balance between a place for people just starting out with their creations, as well as a series that I can confidently say includes everything that I do and I know of for my avatars. And so I hope this helps. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling because I'm nervous. It's just kind of like a system shock that this is over after months and months and months of working on this series. So I just really wanted to say thank you guys so much. And yeah, I don't know, I'm rambling and I'm nervous and I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Our avatars are done. They're uploaded to vrchat. They're exported. If you plan on selling commercially, I'm so excited for you. I wish you the absolute best of luck. And I'm really excited to see what you guys make. If you ever want to share your creations, feel free to join my Discord server. I have a place for vrchat pics. I also have a place for your whips, and I even have a marketplace. So if you ever do end up selling commercially, you can join my server and post your market links there. And I definitely recommend joining maybe some of your favorite creator servers or different servers dedicated to teaching. There's quite a few servers that creators run, dedicated to tutorials and stuff like this. So I would definitely recommend those. A lot of them will have market channels that you can post in to kind of get the word out about your avatars that you're making. As well as even if you're not selling commercially, just to be able to share them and kind of spread the love. So it'd be really exciting to see what you guys create. Yeah. Congratulations, your avatar is done. And just one more time, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support. During the time that I was recording this tutorial series, we actually hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which was a huge goal for me. So I'm very, very honored to hit that goal, and I appreciate all of you guys so much for being here and supporting me throughout this journey. I'm going to finish rambling. I'm getting mushy and awkward, so I deeply apologize. Thank you guys so much. It just means a lot that you're here, and I'm really, really excited for you guys to be able to make your avatars, and I'm excited to see what you guys make. That being said, I hope to be able to bring you guys some more tutorials in the future. I have quite a list of tutorials that have been requested in my server that I hope to eventually get to. I am going to be taking a little bit of a break after making this series, just because I've been working on this for so long, and I have some other projects that I'm going to spend some time on. So it might be a little bit of time in between this series being released and the next tutorial series, but if you would like to see more tutorials, definitely leave a follow here on the channel, yeah, so that you get notified next time I get to release something new, and it helps me know that there are people that still want more tutorials. So yeah, leave a follow if you like the content. If you would like to see more, but yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. You're also more than welcome to join my server and ask questions there at the time of recording this. And as I've been saying for the past few tutorials, I do have a really hectic summer coming up. I have a family vacation coming up just a few days after this series will be released initially. So I might be a bit slower than normal to answer questions both on YouTube and in the Discord server. So please do bear with me shortly after this tutorial series is released, but also just at any time in the future, because I do have a really hectic next few months coming up. So just bear with me if I am slower to get to y'all's questions, but I will do my best both here on YouTube and in the server to answer your questions and try my best to help. Definitely check out the credits list for the avatar for all of the amazing assets and tools that I use to make this avatar, and check out the other channels and tutorials that I have linked throughout this series. Make sure to show those other channels and tutorials some love. They have all been tutorials that I have used myself to learn things, so definitely want to give them some extra love. Okay, I think I'm done rambling now. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye, guys.